Well, welcome back. A beautiful sunset here. We are on to pick number 9. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. We are rolling at warp speed, and we're having a hell of a time. Let's go to the commissioner and find out what San Francisco does now.
With the 9th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Mike Mcglinchey, offensive tackle, Notre Dame.
Jimmy Garoppolo now has his protection as the second Notre Dame offensive lineman in the top 10. Mel.
Trey, it's all about Jimmy Garoppolo. I think you look at what Jimmy Garoppolo means to this football team, and you certainly look at Matt Ryan, the cousin of Matt Ryan at Boston College, Mike Mcglinchey at Notre Dame, go about protecting a quarterback in Jimmy G. That's what Mike Mcglinchey is going to be asked to do. He was a right tackle turned left tackle. He struggled at times at left tackle. Go back to that Miami of Florida game. Both Nelson and Mcglinchey had their share of issues, but at right tackle, he's at his best. He's almost 6'8", 310, 315 pounds. Could get a little stronger, but he's a very competitive kid, highly professional, team leader. And I think for this football team, knowing how important Jimmy Garoppolo is, he would be a foundation piece. He drew comparisons to former LSU star Andrew Whitworth, who people said, hey, he can't play left tackle, he's got to be a right tackle. Maybe Mcglinchey surprises Kirk, and maybe he's a little bit better as a left tackle than you think.
Notre Dame has never had 2 offensive linemen go in the top 10. They have 2, which means we still have 1 quarterback.
So some muscle, some protection for Jimmy G. Protect that monster investment that they made in their new quarterback. Mike?
Yeah, 6'8", 309 pounds. He is a flat back pile driver in the run game. He's got the work ethic and passion of his cousin, Matt Ryan. He'll set a tone both in the offensive line room and a culture in the locker room. Left tackle's got nasty to him, heavy hands. I've known this kid since he was 15 years old, and when he gets his hands locked on you and can anchor down, it's all over. Again, punch, anchor down, drop your hips, that's easy. Occasionally, he will break down in the pass game. Against Georgia, he gets that left arm pinned by Davin Bellamy. Big play at the end of the game, but trust me, he learns from his mistakes. He is the cleanest tackle in this draft. And how about Notre Dame? Mike Mcglinchey, Big Q, 2 offensive linemen in the first 9 picks. That is a testament to their offensive line coach, Harry Hiestand, who's now with the Chicago Bears.
So
after the run game, trust me.
And then as you could see, the San Francisco 49ers, while we were in break, just moved up from the 59th overall position to choose right here.
And with the 44th pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers, the first NFL franchise to win 5 Super Bowl championships.
The old Niner Cowboy rivalry.
The San Francisco 49ers select wide receiver Dante Pettis.
Wow.
Wide receiver, Washington.
That's an interesting pick. Dante Pettis, who's mostly a slot and an outstanding punt returner. 186 pounds, very slight. He's quick and ran a little faster than people thought, but I think he's a natural slot. I question his long speed watching the film, but 9 punt return touchdowns. What's interesting is Trent Taylor had a nice year for them in the slot last year. Very little shake route with his quickness. RPO down the field on a slant. Again, can he make people miss? Yes, he can, but he's not real strong. Play action, RPO, easy slant. He's cat-like quick, Mike, very quick, DJ, and that's why he's such a good punt returner. He's a double-cut punt returner. He can make 2 people miss, and it's interesting. Trent Taylor caught 43 balls last year and was the punt returner.
And return punts.
Correct.
So
with the 70th pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Fred Warner, linebacker out of BYU.
I like this pick, Mel, because Fred Warner, he has versatility, and he's a really good athlete. You look at his numbers, 6'3" and change, 236 pounds. He ran a 4.64. He's like a solid running back at that linebacker spot. 3-year starter, 240 tackles, 31 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. You can put. They played him all over, and he was successful inside, outside, even used him in the slot. Here you're going to see in coverage. I really like his versatility in today's NFL game.
Every down linebacker side, productive. Reactability is excellent. He has the athletic prowess, to get the job done in coverage. Second in tackles for loss this year. Tied for second with 5 pass breakups. And he led the team with 87 tackles. He really put it all together for BYU this season.
All right, so San Francisco goes with the linebacker.
I like that one.
Another off-the-ball linebacker that can run. Very similar to Darius Leonard as far as type of player. DJ, you and I have talked about him since Senior Bowl. Why don't you roll with it?
Yeah, somebody that can run, cover, and blitz. In today's world, that's what you want at the linebacker position. You maybe give up some of that thumping ability for the athletic ability you're going to see in coverage with running backs and tight ends, Charles, and the ability to make plays sideline to sideline.
And I talked to some people who worked him out this summer, and all they raved about was how good he was on the board, picking up concepts, understanding whether he's going to be facing in the NFL. So all the things you're talking about, wrap it up in an intelligent package.
And keep in mind, last year's first-round linebacker, Rueben Foster, has pending legal issues. Right. So a good, solid pick. Get another off-the-ball, fast linebacker.
With the 95th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Kentavious Moore, DB out of Southern Mississippi.
Now this is the quintessential late riser. My man Ben Fennell, who does all of our videos and does an unbelievable job, texted me about 3 weeks ago. He's like, dude, have you done Kentavious Moore yet? The safety from Southern Miss? I was like, no, do I need to? He's like, yeah, he's really good. And I'm like, all right, Ben, I'm going to go put some tape on. And to his credit, Kentavious Moore could run. He's got those hips where he can open up and play deep middle. I thought when I put the tape on, I'd be looking at like a 7th-round priority free agent. You realize right away the dude could play. Ben, thanks for the heads up, man. I appreciate you.
All he did was go to the pro day and run 4.32. That opened everybody's eyes. Then you go back to the tape and you see just how loose and fluid he is as an athlete.
Exactly.
Just needs to get stronger. He's 199 pounds, needs to add some strength, but he shot up after that pro day.
Did you guys wonder about angles at times, though, going to the football?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what I had. That's in the alley, and
the physicality,
sometimes
the
coming
angles,
a little bit narrow on that and underneath. But other than that, he had everything else you're looking for.
Like a little bit of a poor man's Jesse Bates. We all like Jesse Bates so much. This kid is just behind him a couple notches.
All right, so a defensive back out of Southern Mississippi goes to the San Francisco 49ers, Todd.
Yeah, this guy is a late riser. He's got good size. He's got some versatility. You can play free safety with him. You can play him near the line of scrimmage. You see here the ability to finish, and I think that's, talking to guys in the league, he's physical. He'll play on special teams. He'll support the run. And he kept climbing and climbing and climbing through the process to a point where he didn't go to the combine. I didn't have much on him. And then late in the process had to study tape just to get acquainted with him because he was getting so much buzz. Well, really good football player who I think is going to wind up in the NFL having a chance to be a rotational backup, special teams contributor. And who knows, one day could emerge as a starter.
The reason why he's a late riser is he's got this ridiculous measurables. He's 6 foot 200. Runs a 4.3, 240, almost a 40-inch vertical. And you know what? Some teams were struggling where to put him position-wise. Where do you put him at safety, or do you wind up trying to develop him as a corner? Right. Tremendous, smooth, fluid movement skills. He has off and on hitting ability, off and on play tempo. He's going to need to be coached hard to really bring the best out of him. But he's got tremendous physical characteristics that people will want to work with at this point in the draft.
Oh my God, that's a great pick, R2. With the 128th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Kentavious Street, defensive end, North Carolina State.
And that makes all 4 North Carolina State defensive linemen are now picked. Kentavious Street, the last of the 4. You like weightlifting? He's your guy. Look at this, 700-pound squat. I mean, Mel did that yesterday, but whatever.
This is a thick, sawed-off edge defender, just average speed. He will set the edge and set a tone in the run game. Good strength for the position. Doesn't have great takeoff speed. He's got quick hands, flashes the ability to slap and rip moves and different moves as a pass rusher. Plays with intensity. All these NC State guys do. They're all physical. They're all tough. They all have motors. I don't know how anyone scored on this defense, because this front is as good as you're going to see in college football. And Street was one of them, the guy who just kept working and his legs keep driving when he's engaged rushing the quarterback. Love the effort. And I think this is a player in the 4th round that's worth the value, and he does one thing really well. Sets the edge and will give you strength versus the run.
Yeah, he gives you a little versatility, and he hustles, Todd.
Yeah. Kentavious Street bringing a new hope to the 49ers.
He tore his ACL in a private workout. A lot of people thought he was going to drop down to the 6th or 7th round because he'll probably need a redshirt year. This shows the value. I mean, uninjured, I thought he was a 4th-round player. Now, this North Carolina State front, guys, see Chubb go. We've seen the defensive tackle go.
Justin Jones.
Then we saw
DJ Hill.
So we've had this is the 4th of 4 in the first 4 rounds. And despite the torn ACL, the reason his value is this high is inside-out versatility. Outside on first down, kick inside, be too quick for guards. He's built, out of this whole entire draft class, he might be the first guy off the bus.
Get you caught up on a couple of picks. The 49ers have gone with the cornerback out of Kansas State in the 5th round, DJ Reed.
Offense with the first 2 picks for the Niners. Trey, last 4 picks have all been defense. Tarvarius Moore as well as safety from Southern Miss earlier in round 3. Now you get DJ Reed from Kansas State. Last 2 years for Bill Snyder in the Big 12 Conference. Did a good job as a return man and also as a cover corner. He had 19 passes defense in 2016. Defensive Newcomer of the Year as voted on by the coaches in that conference. This year he picks off 4 passes and on special teams. Punt return, average 14.9 yards per punt return for Kansas State. As a kickoff returner as well, he's been unbelievable. 34.2-yard average, 2nd in the nation this past year. Now you say, hey, kick returns are going to be minimized, maybe negated, eliminated from the equation. Not yet. And as a punt returner, he's outstanding. As a slot corner, he can get the job done.
Multiple guys in the league I talked to in the last couple weeks said, move this guy up a little bit because of the return ability.
Yeah, DJ wants to talk about a DJ.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of DJs. I like DJ Chark. I also like DJ Reed, who just went to the 49ers. And to me, he's an undersized corner. When you watch him at Kansas State, I think he's going to be able to come in and play that nickel for you. But even if he doesn't get on the field defensively, you're looking at a guy to average over 32 yards a kickoff return. So he's going to have special teams value. He's very tough. He's very competitive. You see him come up and make a big hit here. Picked off 4 balls last year. The one negative I had on him is Baker Mayfield undressed him in the open field for a touchdown. That was about it. I love the competitiveness of DJ Reed. I think it's a value pick here for the Niners.
With the 184th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Marcel Harris, defensive back, Florida. Let's go.
Marcel, this is kind of a surprise for me. Marcel Harris had an injury. I'm trying to remember if it was Marcel who did not play this year. I know he's got terrific. Yeah, he did. He missed all of 2017 with an Achilles injury. So you know, if you draft a guy now, Bucky, this is where you say, okay, we saw something on tape we really, really like.
Yep.
We're fine with you missing all 17 with an Achilles, because chances are you're going to be back for this year.
Stay in the NFC West. Marcel Harris, the safety out of Florida, goes to San Francisco.
And Harris, throughout his career, durability was a bit of an issue. I gave him a 5 grade, which is the worst grade you can get in terms of the durability. And so that's, you're basically drafting a player who would have been, I think, probably a 3rd rounder in the 6th round now, middle of the 6th round, because you're just not sure what you're getting in terms of what his availability. But played in 27 games and only made 9 starts at the safety position. He's a good size in the box type safety, aggressive physical and run support, above average taking on blocks, disengages. In coverage, he's got some limitations, but I like his awareness, his instincts, his recognition. See him here. I mean, he's basically just an additional linebacker who can play, I think, in some sub packages and help in that regard. But he missed the entire 2017 season, as I mentioned, with the Achilles injury that he got in July. Rather than appealing for another season, he decided to enter the draft. And I think at this point, this is a good risk versus reward type pick.
With the 223rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Julian Taylor, defensive tackle, Temple.
That's a love on the streets pick. Julian Taylor is a player with a lot of different medical concerns and issues in his background. Basically missed his sophomore and junior season. But boy, when you put the tape on his senior season, he's got some reps that really are impressive. He physically looks the part. He is an interior player with lean muscle mass, strong, powerful, and he is a disruptive force. Can he stay healthy? We'll see.
Big, fast, and physical. You like those guys. You're looking for traits down at the bottom of the draft.
With the 240th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select
Richi James, a wide receiver from Middle Tennessee. Go Niners!
Richie James hadn't come off the board by now because a lot of wide receiver coaches really like Richie James. Ran a 4.48 40. You can see he's a little undersized, slot receiver. He's played a lot of wildcat back there. I mean, he is just a catch. Well, people think of him as a catch and run type of player, but I actually think he could be more than that. And his 16 tape is better than 17 because he was healthy and they asked him to do everything, and he did everything. And I think he's just impressive with the ball in his hands. One of the things that really stood out to me, and Bucky, I don't know about you, but when I'm looking at slot guys, I want to see you get great burst out of breaks because that's where that separation.
That is where the separation happens. I also want to make sure that you're an outstanding run after catch guy. Richie James did have a lot of love in the streets early on in the process. Surprised that he lasted this long, but he is a guy who has an opportunity to be a pretty good pro.
Richie James, Middle Tennessee State, wide receiver who made big plays in that Blue Raider offense. You see there, he can catch the ball and then take that big hit. Has some quickness, has some ability to gain some separation, and then on the sidelines, be able to get that foot in bounds. Obviously, 2 in the NFL, 1 in college. Play out of that slot, and there's the matchup advantage that he creates. And in contested situations, pulls in the tough grab. That offense scored points, and for Richie James, a great opportunity to make a team in the NFL.
And joining us now, the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. Not very often that you get Star Wars characters making your pick, John. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, that was a pretty good combo, R2-D2 and Chewbacca. So we like that, and it worked. We're enjoying this draft thus far. We think we're getting better as a team, and very excited about the young men that we've added.
You know, we ask this question to players all the time about their comfort level in their second year. Now that you have that rookie year as a general manager under your belt, what's the comfort level been like for you? Trades going down, all kinds of movement being made by the 49ers this year.
Yeah, it's been great, you know, and I think the one thing I would tell you is just like when you're on a team as a player, it's a team effort. You know, I just marvel in 2 years, been around the game for a long time as a player, as a broadcaster, but to really step inside the inner workings of a building and see the collaboration that goes on between scouts and the way those guys work and the pride that they take in their job, the coaches get involved. And I think we've got something special going here in that what Kyle and I set out to do is really work together. And I think we've done that well. We've in short order, really remade a roster that we think is going to be a real competitive one. Not making a lot of promises, but we do know that we're getting better each and every day, and we love that.
Well, John, you're talking about remaking the roster, and I can't help but love some of the pickups that you've got along the offensive line. Obviously, in your division, you've got some studs that can get after the quarterback. You sign Weston Richburg, bring him over there at center. Now you draft Mcglinchey. Can you tell us a little bit about what you liked about Mcglinchey? Obviously, you'll probably start him at right with Staley at left. And then how did that affect the trade with Trent Brown?
Yeah, so Mike Mcglinchey was a guy, you know, that honestly, when you turned on the Notre Dame tape, it was hard not to watch Quentin Nelson just mauling people. And so even when you were studying Mike Mcglinchey, your eye would gravitate towards Quentin Nelson. But then once you really put blinders on and watched Mcglinchey, he's a guy who down after down after down just does his job and does it really well. And Sean, you hit on something, his ability. A lot of people you project, hey, he's playing left tackle, but he could play right tackle, but it's strictly a projection. We've seen him play right tackle and play it very well, and then later on in his career, moved to left tackle and played it extremely well. The more we watched him, the better he got. He's one of those guys who grew and grew and grew on you. I think the league kind of had that. He was a hot guy late, and we had targeted him about a week before. If he was there, we weren't moving. And you know, as far as Trent Brown, a lot goes into these decisions. He was in the last year of his contract this next year, and you got to make decisions. Is this a guy we're going to pay long term? If not, you better find someone at that position, particularly after you've invested in your quarterback like we have with Jimmy Garoppolo. So we did that, and we're really excited. I think Mcglinchey brings so much in terms of his presence. He's really a guy who commands a room. He plays at a high level. Very excited about that pick.
John, hey, it's Charlie Castle here. John, Rueben Foster. First of all, congratulations on the Mcglinchey pick. I know it was an outstanding pick. Did Rueben Foster's situation impact draft strategy anyway for you in this draft? And do you have any timeline on when you'll know more about Rueben Foster to make a decision of whether he'll be on the club?
Well, it did, Charlie, because it's a pending case. You know, we had to take that into account. Now, having said that, I think in any event, we felt like we needed to add to that linebacker position. In the third round, you saw we invested in a guy named Fred Warner from BYU, San Diego kid, Reg, so we're keeping that pipeline going. And, you know, he's a guy who really fits what we do. Stack linebacker, got great length. He's 6'3", a very efficient mover, a guy who played a lot over the slot in college. He's that good of an athlete. We think really fits what we do, and is a guy that if we, in the event that we don't have Rueben, you know, early in a season or whatever happens with that whole scenario, we feel like we've got a really good player in Fred that can play all three downs, and then a very good special teams player as well.
Hey, speaking of special teams, John, you guys traded up to get a guy that I really like a lot, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, Dante Pettis. Tell me a little bit about what you guys liked about him so much and how he fits into your offense.
Yeah, we loved him. So, you know, we had acquired a third-round pick with the Trent Brown trade. And part of the mindset of doing that with New England was the opportunity to move up to get Pettis. We were with a late second-round pick. It was New Orleans' pick. New Orleans had a great year. So we were sitting back there. We knew Pettis was a guy. You know, we had a goal of just continuing to add pieces to the puzzle in terms of we still have some needs on this team. And then we want explosive and dynamic players. I think Pettis fits for so many reasons. First of all, he can play the X where Marquise Goodwin plays. Yeah. He can play the slot. He's done that where Trent Taylor plays for us. And then also Pierre Garçon, who plays our Z, he plays very well over there. So he's an extremely versatile receiver. Aside from that, he's the all-time NCAA leader in punt return touchdowns, you know, with 9. So an explosive and dynamic finisher we love that pick, and we're happy to be able to trade up and get him.
John, finally, before we let you go, Dan Hellie here one more time. Did you have any offers that really made you say, of teams trying to jump into the top 10 and grab a quarterback?
We did. You know, a lot of people in this draft, I think because it was so unpredictable, when they called, they were kind of hedging, say, hey, if our guy is there, you know, we'd like to enter into discussions. We did have some concrete offers. The one thing we told people is we're waiting until Chicago picks, until we were on the clock, because we had decided that Mcglinchey was our guy. After Mcglinchey went, then we would have listened and entertained offers and moved back, because we had a clump of about 3 or 4 guys. But we had decided about a week ago, Kyle and I, that if Mcglinchey was there, we weren't going to hesitate. And so we let everyone know that by picking Mcglinchey.
John Lynch, veteran general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. I love what you're doing there.
I got 3 games, O'Hara tells me, till I'm a veteran.
Okay, still a rookie. Still a rookie. Hey, John, thanks for joining us, man. Good luck this season.
Thanks a lot, guys.